everybody. Welcome to Doc Sports Look Ahead Friday with Sean Salisbury. I'm Tony George from DocSports.com. And, of course, we're looking ahead to some marquee games this weekend. And we're going to start out down there in the land of the rolling blackouts where Sean is currently living in the Houston area. And we're going to be talking about one of the big ones in the Big 12 tomorrow. Kansas taking on Texas Tech's a big game as well tomorrow. But we're going to concentrate on Huggy Bear and the Mountaineers on the road at Texas. And Sean, West Virginia avenging a home loss, 72-70 against Texas when Texas was about a 1.5 underdog here. And West Virginia on the road this year, 5-2, and the Texas Longhorns only 7-4 at home. And in line games, they're only 3-2 against the spread at home. The first game they played, I watched it intently. And West Virginia managed 39% from the floor in that game, 30% from three-point range. They did not have a good game. But what concerns me here is I know that a lot of people, Huggins brings them to play. This is a big game. They're positioning for seeding in the Big 12 tournament right now and the NCAA tournament as well, I might add. But Texas on a little bit of a slide here, 1-6 against the spread their last 7 games. And honestly, they've lost anybody that's any good. If you look at their last 4 losses, it was to Oklahoma State. It was to Baylor, which, okay, we'll forgive them for that.
Right.
Oklahoma and Texas Tech. But when Texas has been coming up against it here, Sean, they haven't been performing very well.
Well, and you know this, Tony. I mean, when Shaka Smart was brought here, he was brought here for these moments, right, to the University of Texas. And they've been craving, not only football, but basketball. Don't mistake, they brought Shaka Smart in here to win a national championship. And, with what are they, 12th right now, and Huggy Bear's team is 13th, 2 really good teams. How good is the Big 12 when you think about it? And that's with Kansas. And think about Oklahoma, Texas Tech. We know about Baylor, obviously these 2 teams. And this is without Kansas being normal Kansas, right? But this matchup is you're right, against the spread. Texas is underachieved, obviously, this year. This is that they've got length. The key is, can they take care of their business at home? And West Virginia coming off that 1-point loss to Oklahoma. And here's the key for me. Huggy's teams don't give up 90 points. You know this, Tony. That's not a regular occurrence for them. They will run you to death. They will be physical. We know they'll get on the glass, and they're going to have to do this here. And this score, we were talking about last night about the Iowa-Wisconsin game and how Wisconsin's going to try to slow you. Huggy Bear wants to keep this score down. I'm anxious to see these 2 really good coaches, but Huggins, he loves this. I will expect them to be physical. This is a team that in Texas, both of them not only talking about Big 12 slot, but also for the tournament, sitting where they are with a chance with a couple big wins to creep into the top 10. This is going to be a great basketball game. Physicality wins out. I'm leaning towards West Virginia in this. I think they bounce back from this until Texas proves to me they can beat good teams against the spread, because we're talking about the money here. I like West Virginia in the game, at least where I sit today.
And we're doing these early Friday morning, so the lines aren't out yet. But this is going to be a round to pick 'em ball game. It's going to be -1 one way or the other here. The one thing that about Huggy Bear's team this year I like, they're a much better three-point shooting team they have been in years past, and that's always kind of been his problem. But one thing about West Virginia, they're not really great at anything, but they're good at everything. And that is a well-coached team, and I think the better coach wins out, avenging here as well. I would lean West Virginia in this ball game as well for our look ahead on Friday with Sean Salisbury.
And one last thing about that, Tony, you're right, and both good coaches. I favor Huggins in this one as well. And the one thing I do love about them, that they don't die if their one thing's not working. And I'm a big – there's certain teams we can go to, whether it's the NBA or college basketball. If things aren't going the way, if you're a three-point shooting team, if that's not happening, those teams can't survive. Huggy's team is shooting far better beyond the arc than they have in the past. But one thing we know, if they're not shooting well, they'll relentlessly defend you for 94 feet. If they're not doing that as well, they'll get to the both ends of the floor, the glass, and out rebound you. There's something they do. They're never going to lead the country in anything, effort maybe, and physicality, but this is a basketball team that doesn't rely on one. They're not a one-trick pony. Huggy's teams are always dangerous come tournament time, and they're always dangerous, especially coming off a loss. I would expect Huggins' team ready to play because you know one thing. When they don't play defense, you know what practices and what those speeches are like from Bob Huggins. This is going to be a fun watch. I do. It's going to be him. Huggy will lean on them, and I expect him to respond. And you're right. This is going to be within 2 points, a point and a half, 2 points. I like West Virginia to win this football game. Well, sometimes Huggy likes to play football style. I expect this team to go in there and take care of the Longhorns in this one. I think they're a dangerous, sneaky team come tournament time.
Yeah, and their last 4 road games, win at Texas Tech, win at Iowa State, win at Kansas State. Those 2 they should have. And then a win at a very good and sneaky good Oklahoma State team. So this team is battle-tested on the road in a couple of tough venues. And I agree with Sean in this one, West Virginia tomorrow against Texas.